And then just lay flat, excuse me, with your arms down by your sides. Let your head fall nice and heavy. And just like close your eyes for a second and just kind of like tune in and check in with how your body is feeling today. Nice big inhale through your nose. Exhale, blow all the air out of your mouth. Try and relax your neck and shoulders. Let go of any tension in your upper traps. And again, big inhale through your nose. Exhale, blow all the air out. Good. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, draw your belly button in towards your spine. Lift your pelvic floor up to make your belly button contract everything nice and tight. With your core staying tight, float your hands back behind your head. And we're going to go straight into a chest lift. So keeping your feet planted on the floor. Let your head be heavy and your hands sink your shoulders from your ears. Exhale, lift your head and chest up. Peek down at your pelvis. Try and find neutral right away. So instead of being in a posterior pelvic tilt, try and let your tailbone fall really heavy. See if you can lift up 1 inch higher and then lower the head and chest back down. So we'll exhale, lift up, inhale, pause, and then exhale, lower back down. So slow and controlled. And because we're going to pause for such a long time at the top, I want you to see if you can lift just a little bit higher and really get your shoulder blades up off the mat as we lift up. And control it back down. And again, exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale, lower. And again, we're just starting to get the lungs moving and get the muscles moving. And last time, exhale, lift up. See if you can lift up a little bit higher. And then go ahead and lower the head and chest back down. And float the arms down by your side. And we're going to go straight into some bridges. So walk your feet a little bit closer to your bottom. Make sure your feet are about hip socket distance apart. Press through all 4 sides of the foot. And then slowly peel your spine off the mat, 1 vertebrae at a time to lift your hips up. Now, as you reach the top, I want you to think of reaching your knees away from you and dragging your feet towards you. So without actually picking your feet up, you can drag them a little bit closer to you, a little more booty and hamstring action. And then slowly lower all the way back down, 1 vertebrae at a time, so your tailbone is the last thing to touch. And again, articulate up. Reach your knees away from you as you lift up, drawing your head and your kneecaps away from each other, and then slowly lower back down, softening through the spine. Exhale, press through your heels, squeeze your glutes, lift the hips up. Reach the knees away, drag your feet in towards you, feel your hamstrings work a little bit harder, and then slowly articulate back down. And again, bridging the hips up. Now I want you guys to imagine that you have like a blue fit ball between your inner thighs. Give me an imaginary squeeze on that ball, and then take the legs back to parallel. Big squeeze on the ball, and back to parallel. You can even think about actually touching your knees together. Feel how your IT bands actually create a little bit of resistance for your inner thighs here. Is that Caitlin? Hi, Caitlin. Good. And again, big squeeze those buns. See if you can lift your hips up a little bit higher. Big exhale, and 1 more time. And then lower your hips all the way back down, softening in the neck and shoulder. Letting the pelvis fall heavy to the floor. From here, we're going to float 1 leg up to tabletop, and then the other. Oh, and Cindy too. Hi, Cindy. Now go ahead and float your hands back behind your head. Always have an option to keep your feet on the floor. We're going to go back to our chest lift with the feet lifted. So exhale, lift the head and chest up. And then inhale, lower the head and chest back down. So a little bit more quickly than our first set. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. And as you lift up, I want you guys to peek down at your pelvis and make sure your pelvis is neutral. We're going to avoid that posterior pelvic tilt. So think tailbone heavy here. Lifting back up and down, maintaining the space between your chin and chest the whole time so we can avoid crunching at the neck. Now we're going to pause with the head and chest lifted, and then extend your arms down by your sides. Reach long like your hands are in the straps. Extend your legs away from your face, and then bend your legs back in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull them back in. Now, keep reaching your fingers away from you to help lift your head and chest up a little bit higher, almost like if you had assistance. Again, reach those toes long, long, long away from you. Draw them back in. See if you can point the toes. Send energy out your feet. 1 more time here. Now bend those legs in and lower your head and chest back down. Keep your legs lifted. Take your hands back behind your head, and then let's just set your left foot down. So right leg's going to stay in tabletop. Okay. Lift the head and chest back up. Extend your right leg as you twist and rotate to the right. Bend your leg and rotate back to center. Just twist to the right as you extend your leg. Bend and float back to center. Extend and reach as you twist and rotate back to center. See if you can lift your shoulder blades up a little bit higher. Use your breath as you twist and rotate through the upper back. Last one, pause in your twisted position, extend that leg, flex your foot, toes to shin, lower your leg down, point your foot, exhale, kick it up. Flex and lower, and point and lift. Flex and lower, and point and lift. Think of reaching your foot far away from you as you lower the leg down, and then the toes reach a little bit farther as you draw the leg back up. Last time, pause with the leg lifted, hold it there, pulse your left shoulder towards your right knee. Pulse it up, and up, and up. Try and keep some space between your ears and your shoulders. Take those shoulders down for 3, and 2, and 1, and bend the legs, derotate. Rest everything down. And then we'll do the whole dance on the other side. Yep, if you have a jacket on, it's time to take it off, right? Okay, so hands behind the head. Left leg's gonna come up to tabletop. We'll extend your left leg as we lift and twist to the left side. Keep the head and chest lifted as you bend your leg and rotate back towards the center. Twist and extend, bend and rotate center. Twist and extend, and bend and rotate center. Now I want you guys to think of exhaling as you twist. Inhale, rotate back in. Pelvis is trying to stay neutral. So pelvis is stable, upper body is twisting. Nice job, guys. Last time, pause with your leg extended, stay twisted in the upper body, flex your foot, lower your foot towards the floor, point your foot, kick it up to the sky. Flex and lower, point and lift. Flex and lower, and point and lift. Imagine you're like painting a fence at the bottom of your foot. So you're really reaching through that leg the whole time here. Exhale, kick it up. Inhale, lower down. Last time, pause with your leg lifted. Pulse your right shoulder towards your left knee. Pulse it up. And I'll think more about twisting from the shoulder, less about from the elbow. Good for 3, and 2, and 1, and bend the leg and rest everything down. Go ahead and extend your legs, reach your arms away from you. Take a nice big good morning stretch. Relax your abdominals for just a second here. And then bring the arms back down by your sides and then fold at the knees again. We're gonna do some single leg bridge work. They're always welcome to keep 2 feet on the ground if that feels more appropriate for your body. So float your right leg up to tabletop. And then I want you to press through your left heel and bridge your hips straight up and then lower back down. And you guys are welcome to hinge or articulate for your bridge today. Whatever feels better in your body is fine with me. But as you lift up, think about reaching your left knee away from your face, right? So we're sending energy towards the feet as we lower and lift the hips. And while you reach your knee away, think about dragging your left foot in on the floor towards your bottom so you get more hamstring engagement. Good, now pause with your hips lifted. Extend your right leg to the sky, and you're gonna open your right leg up to the side as far as you can without your pelvis rocking, and then bring your leg back up to center. Open the leg out, and bring it back up to center. Now, really, really pay attention to that right hip here as you open your leg up. Your pelvis is gonna wanna dump and rotate, right? So the goal is to keep the right hip lifted at the same height as the left the whole time. Good, last time here, open it out and bring it back up. Set your right foot on the floor and lower your hips down. Going straight into the other side. Float your left leg up to tabletop. Press through your right heel, lift your hips up, and lower back down. So remember, this is just the warm-up element. So as you lift and lower your hips, think about reaching your knee away from you, but dragging your foot closer to you. So I want you to feel that right glute and hamstring. Last one here. Pause with your leg lifted. Extend your left leg to the sky. Open your left leg as far as you can without your pelvis rotating. and draw it back in. Open the leg out and back in. Inhale, open. Big exhale, use those abs to close. Good, hang in there, you guys. Try and keep that right leg stable as well. Last one. And then go ahead and set your foot down and lower your hip. Whew. Nice work. From here, roll onto your side so that you can face the camera or your computer screen or wherever you're facing. And then we're gonna come up into like a little modified side plank. So I want you guys to make sure that your elbow is underneath your shoulder and that you're doing like a full side plank here. So sink your shoulder away from your ear. See if you can lift at your waist, feel your obliques kick on. Legs are gonna stay bent and lift your hips up into like a modified side plank. Brilliant. Now from here, extend your top leg long and we're gonna flex the foot. So toes to shin, lower your leg towards the floor and then lift with your heel to lift your leg back up. Lower and squeeze and lift. Good. Now imagine there's a string coming out your ponytail or the top of your head and it's pulling your head away from your heel. So feel the opposition that you can create in your own body here. Good. Now here's where it gets fun. Pause with your leg lifted. See if you can pulse it up a little bit higher. Pulsing from your heel versus your toes. Lift through that bottom shoulder a little bit more. Hang in there. You can always lower your hips if you need to. For 3 and 2 and 1. And relax the leg and the hips down. And then lay all the way down on your side. And you can just fold your forearm underneath your head for a little pillow. I'm going to keep my top hand press on the floor for support and extend both legs long and then stack my top foot on the mat. Perfect. So we're going to go into an inner thigh lift. So before we do this, I want you to stick your hand underneath your waist and then lift yourself up, right? And then we're going to stay lifted there like you have a little mouth hole space underneath your waist. So keeping your mouth hole lifted, lift your foot to the ceiling and then lower back down. And I only want you to lift your leg as high as you can keep your mouth hole lifted. So even if you're only lifting your foot up 2 inches off the ground, that's great, yeah? Continue to grow long from the heel out through the head. Use your breath. Think of pausing for just a second. Really feel that inner thigh as you lift your foot to the sky. Good. Now we'll pause with your leg lifted, and we're going to go back to our pulses. So pulse the inner thigh up and up. See if you can lengthen your working leg a little bit more. Reach through that kneecap. Good. For 3 and 2 and the last one. And relax everything back down. Whew. Fold those knees in, and then just use your arms to stack yourself up. We'll take a little mermaid stretch. Stretch out the side of the body. You can reach with your bottom arm too, and I like to grab my wrist and then pull so you get like a really lovely stretch all through the side of the body here. See if you can relax into that stretch a little bit more deeply. And then set your hand back down on the floor. Take your counter stretch in the other direction. Good. Now reach this top hand to the sky. See if you can relax your elbow on the floor. If you can't reach your elbow, you can be up on your hand too. Either is honestly just fine. Now we're going to thread the needle. Reach your hand through your armpit. Pause here. Contract your obliques a little bit more. Imagine you're lifting your abs up to the sky like you're doing a pike. And then reach your hand back to the sky. Thread the needle, try and peek underneath your armpit, twist a little bit deeper, and then reach the arm back up. And thread the needle, rotate a little bit deeper, and back up. And one more time, thread it under. Imagine you're doing like a pike up on the chair and hold it right there. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. See if you can round your back to the sky a little bit more. And then take the hand back up. And we're gonna roll all the way onto your belly for some crowd work. We doing okay? Okay, silence, I love it. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. Okay, so reach your arms and your legs away from each other. We're gonna do like a very modified swimming, yeah? So eyeballs are towards the floor. Think of tucking your tail under here because I want you to feel your glutes as well. And then lift your arms and legs up off the floor. Now from here, imagine you're holding springs or like a TheraBand, and you're gonna pull your elbows in by your sides as you lift your chest up a little bit higher. and then reach the arms away from you as you lower everything back down. So everything lift, pull the elbows in tight by your sides. Think of lengthening the space between your neck and your shoulders, and then lower everything back down. So we lift and pull. Squeeze your glutes, lift your legs up higher, and extend and reach everything away. And again, lift and pull everything back. Pull, 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 pull. Try and tap your elbows together behind you and reach away. And again, lift and pull everything back. And back down. One more time. See if you can pause in that lifted position. Hold it right there. Sink the shoulders away from your ears. Lift your legs up a little bit higher from your glutes. Lift your upper back up a little bit higher. And lower everything down. Yeah. From here, go ahead and press yourself back into a child's pose stretch. Reach those arms forward. Try and stretch out your low back a little bit. If you gently shift from right to left, you can kind of get a little release in your low back and mid back muscles. But hopefully things are feeling a little bit more awake back there. And then we'll go ahead and sit ourselves up, and then we'll do our side plank work on the other side. Okay, so flip it around. You can also just roll over, right? So, so we're on our side plank first. So elbows under shoulders, slide your shoulder down. Imagine you're doing a full plank here. So really make it count with those bottom obliques. Float your hips up, find stability, extend your top leg, flex your foot, toes to shins, tap your foot to the floor, and then lead with your heel to lift up. Tap it down, lead with your heel to lift up. Lower and lift. Good. Now focus on lifting with those bottom obliques as well. So feel the lift up from the bottom half of the waist. We also want to feel that glute med muscle on the top of the hip here. Good, 2 more. Last one, use your breath, make it count. Pause with your leg lifted, hold it right here and give me little pulses. Pulse the heel up and up. Lift out of that bottom shoulder a little bit more. Think of leading with your heel versus your toes. Slow and controlled, make it burn for 3 and 2 and 1 and relax it down. Lowering all the way down. Onto your side body here. We'll give your bottom shoulder a little rest before we thread the needle. So plant your top hand into the ground, extend both legs, and then plant your top foot on the floor. We're gonna lift the waist up, create that mouthful size space between your waist and the floor. Flex your bottom foot, lift your foot to the sky, and then lower back down. So exhale, lift, and lower. So as you lift your heel to the sky, I want you guys to focus on staying lifted through the waist. So like I said on the other side, even if you can only lift your foot up 1 inch, that's it, right? Got to listen to your body and what you need today. Think of pausing in that lifted position for just a second before you lower your leg with control. And then pause in the lifted position. Go back to your pulses. Pulse the foot up and up. And up. See if you can lift a little bit higher. Push yourself into that uncomfortable place. Good. Hang in there. For 3 and 2 and 1. And relax the legs. Give me a fold with those knees. Stack yourself up. And we'll take your mermaid stretch. So one hand on your ankle. Stretch your arm up and over. Laterally flex to the side. Grab your wrist with your top hand. Give yourself a little pull for a deeper stretch. Good, and then we'll take your counter stretch to the other side. So let your forearm find the ground. Laterally flex up and over to the side. Imagine there's a string pulling your rib cage away from your head here. Good. Now, staying in this side bend position, you can keep the arm extended too if your body fits better that way. But stretch your top arm to the sky. We're going to thread the needle. So you'll poke your hand underneath your armpit and pause right there. Imagine you're doing a pike up here. So lift through those obliques, pull your abs to the sky, and then float the hand back up. Exhale, reach under, let the head drop as you lift through the abs, and then reach the hand back up. And dive it under. Big exhale, and reach it back up. And again, diving it down, pulling up through the abdominals, and lifting the hand to the sky. And one more time, dive it down, Pause in that bottom position. Twist a little bit deeper as you lift your obliques to the sky a little bit more. And then float that arm back up. Nice work, you guys. So from here, let's go into some 4-point kneeling work. So we're going to be on your hands and knees. And so I have a long shirt on for you guys today. So set yourself up right away. Hands directly underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers wide and press your fingertips to the floor. And we're going to curl your toes under today. Make sure that your knees are underneath your hips, so your knees are hip distance apart. Yes? Now float your knees up off the floor. Give me a little hover. So just hovering 1 inch. Imagine there's a string coming out the top of your head and out your tailbone, pulling in opposite directions. So what you'll feel here are your shoulders, your core, and probably your quads and the tops of your thighs. If you hyperextend your elbows like I do, try and soften them just a little bit. And then lower your knees back to the floor. Now it's going to get more exciting. So float your knees back up. Find that hovered position. Now from here, I want you to just float your right foot up off the floor and hold. Hold it right there. Try and stay focused. Feel your left quad working. Let it shake. The shaking is where we grow on the mat. Put your foot down and lower your knees. Group side. Lift your knees back up. Float your left foot up off the floor. Again, push yourself. You have to push yourself on the mat when there's no resistance, right? The only resistance we have here is body weight and gravity, right? So we got to push a little bit harder. Hang in there for 3 and 2 and 1. Put that foot down. Lower those knees down. From here, sit your butt back over your heels. Walk your hands back behind you. And think about bridging your hips up for a stretch in your thighs. You might not need to lift your hips off your butt. If you just lean back, you might feel a stretch in your thighs. And then for a deeper stretch, try and lift your hips up. Good. So we're going to come back into that 4-point kneeling position. Hang in there. Don't hate me just yet. You can hate me when it's all over. So bring your hands back on the mat. Curl your toes. Tuck your knees. Yep, great modification coming down to the elbows, Caitlin. Float your right foot up off the floor. Pull your knee in towards your chest. And then extend your leg out behind you. Pull it in and extend it out. We're going to do 3 more for 3. And kick it back. And 2. Stay strong. And kick it back. And last one. And kick it back. And rest the legs down. Going straight into the other side. Lift those knees up. Pull your left knee in towards your chest. And then kick it back behind you. Pull it in. And kick it out. Last 3. Pull it in. And kick it out. Last 2. And out. And last 1. And out. And rest those knees down. Shake those shoulders out. Roll over. Last thing here. We're going to do our grand finale with some teasers. I'm excited too. So have a seat on your bottom and then grab one behind your thighs here. And I want you to start seated really tall. And we'll posteriorly tilt your pelvis and rock back just off your sits bones and float one leg up to tabletop and then the other. Now, if this feels plenty challenging for you today, stay here with the support. For more of a challenge, see if you can extend through your upper back, lift your heart to the sky, and reach the arms away from you. Now from here, see if you can extend one leg and the other. Find control, find support, see if you can float your hands up a little bit higher. Hang in there, you guys. We're just holding. Good, extend your legs a little bit more. Lift your chest up a little bit higher. For 3 and 2. And soften those knees. Control your feet back down to the floor. And sit up tall. Good. Let's extend your legs and nod your chin to your chest and roll forward. Reaching the hands past your feet. Maybe flex your toes to the sky if that feels good. Nod your chin to your chest. Stack yourself back up to vertical here. Reach your hands away from you. Posteriorly tilt your pelvis and slowly roll down, one vertebrae at a time. Letting those hands come back up and overhead. Circle the arms down by your sides. Hug your right knee in towards your chest. And then hug your right knee towards your left shoulder. So knee to opposite shoulder for a little glute stretch. Really important to keep those buns mobile, especially with all the sitting that everyone's been doing lately. And then fold your knee back in towards your chest and see if you can grab on behind your calf and extend the leg for a hamstring stretch. Good. We're trying to get the leg as straight as possible, so if you need to hold behind your hamstring, that's fine too. Exhale, draw that leg a little bit closer to your face. Good. We're going to stick with this right leg, but I want you to bend your bottom leg and then cross your right ankle over your left knee and flex your toes to your shin. Press your right knee open. If you feel a stretch in your right hip, stay there. If you want a deeper stretch, hug that right or left leg in towards you as you use your elbow to press your right knee open. Figure 4 stretch. Gently rock your legs maybe 2 inches to the left. Feel that stretch increase a little bit more in the right hip. Good. And then go ahead and relax the legs down. Extend your right leg. Hug your left knee in towards your chest. So switching legs now. Just folding at that hip socket. And then hug your knee across your body towards your opposite shoulder. So I'm using my left leg towards my right shoulder. Think about keeping your left hip anchored to the floor as much as possible here. Exhale into the stretch. Good. Now we'll float the leg back through center, grab behind the calf or the hamstring, and extend your leg up to the sky for a little hamstring stretch. And as you exhale, see if you can draw your leg a little bit closer towards you, trying to find as straight a leg as possible here. Drawing it closer in on the exhale. And then folding at the left knee as you stack your right foot on the floor. Cross your left ankle over your right knee like the number 4. Flex your foot back. Press your knee open. And then for a deeper stretch, hug your right leg in towards you. And I like to use my elbow to press my knee open at the same time. Good, and then go ahead and relax the legs down here. Extend your legs long one more time. Float your hands back up behind you. We'll do one last roll up. Inhale, bring your hands over your face. Exhale, nod your chin to your chest. And I want you to slowly roll up as slow as you can, 1 vertebrae at a time. Folding forward over your thighs. Nice big stretch here in the back. Once you get there, maybe shake your head no, or nod your head yes. And then stack yourself back up to vertical. 1 vertebrae at a time. Roll your shoulder blades down and back. And give yourselves a round of applause.